And I feel like one of the places where I learned to become vulnerable as a woman was to uh, and I realized that it put me in a place of vulnerability, but it also gave me so much more, and it gave the person that I was giving it to so much more. Is giving someone a compliment from the heart. It's so much. It's it puts me in a vulnerable state, like especially when I praise a woman and I just like stop and say, "Oh my God, you look amazing today. Like you're glowing this outfit," and the reaction in them, and also, I feel like at the same time I'm feeding off of that energy that I'm watching them create from their heart, and it puts me in a vulnerable space. Like they could easily reject me, like what? Like I've had a reaction where people are like, What are you talking about? Get out of here! No, I don't look good," But then after saying it many times, after I've worked, with a person many times, and I do this with people at work sometimes. After working with them, and they start to feel that my compliments are coming from the heart, and I'm putting myself in a vulnerable position where they can say anything they want to say to me. It also allows me to receive whatever they're willing to give to me, and I can also take it. And since my heart is in the right place, I won't take it personally. I won't be offended. I just know that I'm doing the work with them as well. So it just feels really good. It puts me in a vulnerable space, but it also gives me so much more.
I like that practice. Can I try right now?
Oh.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So, Ivette, when we were starting this live up, you two earlier on, my friend Sabrina, who's with me today, said that, "Oh my gosh, she looks so beautiful. She looks like Cleopatra. Is that her real hair? It's so shiny." And I think the only thing more iconic than that look that you two share is the depth of your thoughtfulness and your capacity to care for others.
Thank you, my dear.
It helps that you're a brilliant poet. I mean, are you kidding me?
I knew it was gonna get good. I know the heart trail was gonna be a good one. We talked about it at Witch Camp and how important it is to be vulnerable, because that's really how we're all going to begin the work. The moment we start to see ourselves in others as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, my
Girls are
dear.
teaching me so much. I love doing this, and I learn. Whenever I hang out with you girls, even if it's just virtually, I learn so much on. I've never been somebody who came from a community. I grew up with. I won't get into it too much right now, but it was, with a warrior. I grew up. My dad's a warrior, and so it's like I grew up with that mentality. Like if you get too close to people, they're gonna die, or you could die, and so just. That's working through that first and second chakra that I'm really trying to work through. And it's really important to open up the heart in order to heal. And I've really set out, like doTERRA is the thing that's helped me like even manifest a community of and I'm still learning because I don't really know very much how to ask for things. I'm so grateful for this platform and all that Molly does to make this stuff happen.
Yay, Molly!
And it's my first like opportunity to really like feel supported and really be supported and allow myself to get that support. But I'm just learning and have been just learning since I've started with the oils. Helps me to shift all of those different things that I'm working through generationally. And I'm noticing that I'm doing the work. I have been doing the work. Look at where I am now as compared to maybe where I was 5-6 years ago. And even though like, there's that patience game too. It's like, I want it now. I want my community now.
Temperance.
And it's just been so beautiful how it's organically just opened up, and I feel so loved and so supported and so seen with you guys. And I love it so much. I want to share it with everybody, which is why we're doing this show.
I love you, and I love the fact that you introduced me to really high frequency oils, because I definitely have been working with my emotions, and it really is all about the emotions here in the heart. There's so many things that we can convey, and there's so much that we can receive through other people's emotions. So I feel like it's really important to also be careful with emotional abuse, and I don't mean just coming from other people, but the own emotional abuse that sometimes we give ourselves. Emotional abuse can be wounding to the seed of love. And so it's very important to be very aware of your thoughts, or to start to become very aware of your thoughts and where they're coming from, and whether they feel good or not, whether they're directed
Yes.
towards yourself or other people, because we really are directing negative thoughts and emotions toward other people. In reality, the universe is one big mirror that we're just going to reflect all that right back onto us, and we don't want that. We want to just, and we're human. We're going to be thinking. We're going to be feeling. There's so many things around us that throw us out of alignment. But our work is just to, okay, how does this make me feel? How does that benefit anybody outside of me, even if I'm not saying it out loud, even if I'm just feeling it?
Yes. Oh.
I have been really loving catching myself in negative self-talk lately. It's so fun. It feels like the thoughts maybe like half formed or a little bit more, and I'm starting to kind of like sink into the feeling of like, this sucks, your fault. And it's like, hang on, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't believe that. Your friend don't believe that. Your partner doesn't believe that. Put it away. Go
Yes.
Put it away. Put it away.
I love
Not
that.
invited.
Put it away. Put it
That
away.
is,
Yes. Yes.
that's a really good practice. Put it away.
Yeah.
It's not nice. A lot of times if I catch my friends saying, "Oh, I'm an idiot," or "I'm so stupid," or "I can't believe I'll be like, "Don't talk about my friend like that." You know what I mean?
Yes, that's right. I love that. I'm gonna borrow that.
Yeah, do it, because it's not cool. It's not cool when you hear your friends talking shit about themselves, because you love them.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah.
And we love ourselves, but sometimes we throw something, we're doing our makeup or we're doing dishes, and something comes like, it's so clumsy, I'm so dumb. It's so easy. It's so easy, but words are so powerful, and emotions are super powerful as well. So beginning to become aware of that.
I think it never feels like often. I don't know about never. Sometimes it does feel like as big of a deal as it is, but so often it's just such like an offhand, like like a really common brand of humor. But it's really easy to underestimate the power of words, and that we're always casting spells, and manifesting that kind of negative self-belief is never going to get us anywhere.
Exactly. Right.
The thing is a lot of times we don't even know that programming is happening. It's just that automatic subconscious programming that got implanted from 0 to 8 years old. And so that's why it's so powerful to be able to work together. And like that's the kind of friendships I want to have or continue to develop, are the ones where everything we say is for the greater good of each other. Like, I'm telling this because I love you, not because I'm judging you. And like, if you feel judged, that's about because I'm coming from a loving place. It's coming from my heart intention. And even if I'm wrong, then it's up for discussion. And if you got triggered, why did you get triggered from me bringing that thing up? And being able to kind of work through what's happening with us so that we can grow, because it's our best thinking that got us into these situations to begin with. So it's really nice to have community and friends that we can share with and express what's happening.
It's very important. I love that what you said right there. It's really by understanding others, we're going to begin to understand ourselves. So holding space for someone and saying, well, like you said, something triggered you. So, let's look into that. Let's not sit here and judge you because, you felt a certain way or you reacted a certain way. How did that trigger you? I'm here for you. Let's talk about it. I'm not going to come from a place of judgment. It makes people open up a lot easier to you and say, well, I felt like so-and-so, or, this rubbed me the wrong way. Or maybe they just start thinking about it and think, it didn't have anything to do with you. I was just having a bad morning. I was just having a bad day. Woke up on the wrong side of bed.
Yes.
I completely agree. I feel like loving accountability is the most underrated kind of support that you can get from friends, but it is so easy to, like, we all grew up not learning how to do that and not knowing how to do it skillfully, and communication in that way is a skill that requires a lot of practice. There's a resource that I really appreciate for that, and it's a book, and more than just a book, called Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg, and it's amazing. I've like listened to this book through once, and every time I'm listening to it or reading it or like watching a video of his on YouTube, I'm just feeling like I need to engage with this like 5 million times over the course of my life. Like I want all of these methods and things to keep in mind just like baked really deeply into the ways that I relate to other people, because it's so hard after you learn a new resource for communication to then, like, in a moment of like a really challenging conversation with a person or a triggering conversation with another person, to be like, what would Marshall Rosenberg do? And then like remember all of the things. It's kind of hard, but it just goes so deeply into different ways of communicating how you're feeling or of listening better. I really feel like every time I'm engaging with his material, it's like, oh no, I don't know the first thing about compassionately listening to other people. And I also at the same time have this perception of myself as a person who's just like self-sacrificing to no end in my desire to do great things for other people, and like sitting with those two things being true-ish or whatever capacity at the same time is just kind of mind-boggling. Like, all right, like, you know, taking a step back and developing my skills more is always going to be a good way to both preserve myself better and be a little bit more effective when I am making an effort to connect with another person on something like truly heavy.
Yeah, I love that. Love that.
I love that book. I've watched a couple YouTube videos of his, and what's happening in my head right now is maybe this isn't proper listening, because I'm like, oh my gosh, if we had our own little community village, Nikki could be the teacher that teaches all of our children how to non-violently communicate.
Non-violent.
I heard everything you were saying.
But I appreciate that. I mean, I think it's like at the same time that it's important to actively listen and not listen to respond, like feeling like an internal response coming up to something someone is saying is so human, and like we shouldn't shame ourselves for that at all. And right. You know, I think the best thing to do about that is what you just did, is be like, oh yeah, I really loved what you were saying so much, and I got so excited that all of these things started happening. It's like okay to ask for a pause or ask someone to repeat themselves, or just be like, you know, whatever, I'm sure the rest of what you said was totally fine and I probably agree with it. Like my thoughts were just more interesting to me at that time, and you know, we'll get back to it later or never. It's all okay. It's all totally fine.
That's hilarious. I do think but I'm really skilled at listening to two things at once, my head and somebody else's, so I'm pretty sure that I got the whole through thought. But what I think is so important is in what you're saying is that our kids are learning this, you know, and I have a kid, so it's on my mind. And I just think you're such a brilliant teacher, so I'm grateful for the way that you
really agree. I think you're an amazing teacher as well. I mean, I've learned from you. The few times we've had the opportunity to share space, we've exchanged so much wisdom and so much energy.
Thank you. I do love to teach, but like teacher is a role that I'm only just beginning to see in myself. But I mean, you know, accepting that learning and teaching happen at the same time has been really helpful.
Absolutely. And giving there is receiving.
Yes. Wow, that was a good full circle there.
I'm a heart chakra. It's all a heart chakra.
This is where I live most of the time, in my heart.
Me too, girl.
Yeah.
I third that.
This is where I live most of my time. And it's been quite a fun place.
Yeah, it's intense.
I want to get more marinating in my heart more often.
Let's do it.
Do it really well.
Okay, so do you want to go over, like, you know, we talked about, you know, oils, and we talked about the mantra, we talked about and also yum is a good one for your heart chakra. So yum. It's like yum, but with an A, not a yum.
Yum. My mom says yum.
And you start to feel it resonating in your heart once you say it enough times, that there's a mudra that I really like. It's called the Hidaya mudra, and it's supposed to help. It's supposed to release build up emotions. It's supposed to help with anything weighing your heart down. It also rejuvenates the heart, and it helps release anxiety, and it helps keep the heart opened and uplifted. So you're gonna go ahead and you take your index finger, your middle finger, and your ring finger. And all three of these are going to be connected to your thumb. Pinky sticking out. And so these are going to go palm side up on your knees, cross-legged. And you're going to do breathing technique where you're going to breathe in through your nose. Hold for 1 second and then release again through your nose. Now, if you can do this while you're driving, while you're sitting in traffic, while you're waiting for something and your hands are not busy, this is a great one to relieve anxiety and open up your heart chakra. And I advise you do it for at least 3 minutes. You don't have to, but that's where the work begins. If you can manage to do this for 3 minutes, you start to really regenerate all of the cells in your body and heart chakra starts to open up. It's a good one.
I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
Yes. You know what's another really good one? And Miss Jenny B, the other Jenny B, did this in her class, and it was called the Padma Lotus Mudra. And it was the one where we had our pinkies and our thumbs in the pose of a lotus. And she had us basically, she was asking us to put it down here, but if you could bring it up higher, and do this for at least 3 minutes. Same breathing exercise for 7 or 3 minutes. This is huge for opening up your heart chakra. It just really keeps it really open. It grounds you and it uplifts you. And it's going to hurt a little bit in the beginning. I'm not going to lie. But then you're really going to start to feel like muscles here in this area for some reason. It's in your arms too. Your arms are connected to your heart, obviously. But there's just like something to do with the circulation that just really starts to open up this area here. And I felt it this weekend because my shoulders weren't as tense after that. I really held it up. I was like, I'm going to tough it up. I'm going to hold them up for as long as I can. And I was like sweating and I was taking my deep breaths and I was really holding it. But the minute I came down, I felt so much better and I slept so good this weekend. This is a good workout besides just being a really good mudra for your heart chakra. It's a great workout.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love all the surprising ways that heart openers make you really breathe heavily, like back bends too. It's just like, whoa, it's really, really good.
Yoga is very mind blowing. I feel like you're working from the inside out, which is why you're sweating profusely so hard. I have friends that I didn't know they can sweat that much with one yoga session. I'm like, oh my god, I've never sweat this much when I go to the gym. But you're working from the inside out. You're challenging your body and your muscles in such a diverse way that I feel like it's another tool, another really important tool that people don't think about using.
I can't live without yoga. It's like
I can't either.
Tools.
It is my daily bread.
Yeah. There's some more of that Catholic talk.
Speaking of bread, do we know that any foods that are good to balance and heart chakra? I mean, I can imagine anything green, right?
Yeah, limes, cilantro. We always talk about those guys. Maybe I don't know if there is one in this. I don't think it talks about food in here.
Well, if I can think of anything leafy, veggies, maybe spirulina, matcha.
Maybe. Yes.
I can think of matcha. I think matcha would be really good. You know what else I think is good for your heart?
Chocolate always feels good for my heart.
Chocolate? Yeah.
That makes your heart. Anything that gives your heart joy is good for your heart, I guess. The dark chocolate is really good for your heart. The darker, the better.
Oh, I got some downstairs. I've been getting the little these Rebel chocolate drinks, reishi chocolate with mushroom reishi in it. Yeah, it's so delicious. And I've been putting a little drop of turmeric in it, which is supposed to help with all the anti-racism and oppression and all the stuff we're trying to outgrow. and it's really beautiful. The turmeric actually feels, it's the oil of restoration, and I don't know if it has anything to do with the heart, but it literally told me to talk about it. So,
If it helps you restore your heart.
you guys, it smells like a punch in the face. It's
Hi,
horrible.
Turmeric. You can have some
I've
attention.
seen people's reaction when they smell that one. It's not fun, but it's really interesting.
But then it grows on me, because once I learn what it does to me, then I'm like, okay, I love you, thank you. You're a good root. You're a good root.
You're good to me. You're good to me.
Um,
I can feel it. It's like a little tough love.
It is. Do you guys want me to read from this little book?
Yes.
So this is the Emotions and Essential Oil book. It's my favorite, and it's so incredible for being able to tune into our emotions, and then having a tool to help set a new intention to reprogram that subconscious programming that is totally blocking us from growing. It actually, being able to smell something, stops that pathway, that pattern, that little groove that your subconscious mind gets stuck in, stops it with the smell, and then you can start a new pathway on how you, which direction you want to move into. So I like to learn a little bit about the emotional side, and I do something called oracle oils that I know I've talked about with you all a lot, but where I just call on the angels and the guides to give me an oil, a message through the oils. And then oftentimes I'll look up what the message was, and every time it's like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I needed to hear. And even if I don't necessarily like the smell, I still take the message, because I know that it's like my highest self.
It's still what you need.
Self. Yeah, and so one day I pulled this turmeric, and it literally, I think, was 2 days into the riots and the things going on, and I was just like overwhelmed with so much emotion about everything that was going on in the world, and like just that uncovering all that darkness and the shame and then having like all this information that was a lot. It hit really hard, and not necessarily knowing my part in it and what I could do about it, and really being, I felt a lot of people coming out saying, if silence is like saying it's okay or something like that. There were all kinds of things like that, but I know everybody processes differently, and I really wanted to honor my process and be able to have some time to be in discernment so that I could speak from my heart and not just react from my emotion. And when I did the oracle oils, I pulled the turmeric, and it was about restoration. And turmeric repairs individuals physically, mentally, and emotionally. I'm gonna smell it when I talk about it. It has powerful properties that reach into damaged or blocked aspects of the self to restore what has been temporarily lost, like maybe the heart. Turmeric is a powerful antidote for those who feel paralyzed by the inherent danger of life, or by loss or function of freedom, by one that was. By the coronavirus. Oh, sorry, my son came into the room, and he said, "Or by the coronavirus." And that is a 5-year-old's existence now. I have to cling to my oils tight because it makes me sad. Okay, back to this. Turmeric is a powerful antidote for those who feel paralyzed by the inherent danger of life, or by the loss of function or freedom they once took for granted.
Wow.
Which is when my kid said, or the coronavirus. It is particularly beneficial when one feels weighed down due to personal tragedies or loss or of confidence in their abilities. Turmeric offers strength and hope to ground individuals during times of upheaval or significant change.
Wow.
Turmeric, and you can also use turmeric roots. Like, you guys can go to the store tomorrow and buy some turmeric root and like.
Change? Do you mean like?
Scout, I'm doing a show. I don't have time. Can you go back to your bedroom if you're going to talk? I love you so much, but I'm in the middle of a show. And they can't see you. Just close your eyes. Put a shirt over your eyes. It's super bright in here, you guys. What am I supposed to do? I've become accustomed to falling asleep in my bedroom. Okay.
You're coming from your heart chakra. I love it.
Thank you. Okay, turmeric can also restore one's faith in goodness.
Oh.
It reminds, thank you, I'm going to take another sniff of faith in goodness. It reminds that for good or bad, each person occupies a unique role in the unfolding destiny of the world. In a season where atrocities are committed and heartless events unfold without meaning or seeming consequence, exposure to the misdeeds of others can cause one's faith in humankind to grow cold. This shit is so deep, you guys.
So fucking deep.
I'm gonna have to put 50 cents in a jar. We just started that. Okay. Turmeric restores.
Actually, you said that twice.
Okay, but no more talking. You can keep score of how many times I say bad words, and I'll pay you tomorrow. Okay. Okay.
I love it. I love doing this.
Turmeric restores belief that most individuals choose to act as agents for good, despite the associated risk. The strong warmth of turmeric provides stability for the waving heart and foundation of trust that people are capable of good and progress is always possible. It's not done, but this is so good. I can't even. Please give me a second.
Oh, the world needs more turmeric.
Oh my goodness. Can we just like put a bunch of turmeric in spray bottles and go spray it on everything?
So crop
It's also
dust
anti-inflammatory.
I have so much turmeric root at home right now because I've been brewing kombucha potions lately and just putting all the turmeric in every single one and ginger and whatever fruit I have.
I put turmeric in pretty much everything I cook
Me too.
because it's so good for you.
And it's so
I like
cute.
to put it.
And it's so pretty.
I love a root. It's deep down, so it's helping with the root chakra.
I love me a good root.
Lord knows we all need
All the
that.
stuff that. What was that? What'd you
We
say?
all need that.
I missed it. Yeah, we all do. That's true. Okay, so the last paragraph goes like this. Turmeric also assists those who struggle against systemic barriers such as prejudice, bias, and racism by helping individuals recognize discordant or damaging messages and distinguishes them from the truth. We should actually bundle people buying white fragility with turmeric. Because when you,
Hell yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever heard about the book,
Reading it.
but it's really good.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Scout, I will put oils on you later, okay? He wants to talk to me about oils because he's like, maybe my mom will give me attention if I talk to her about oils.
We'll talk about oils.
It's time for bed!
It's coming from the heart. It's coming from the heart.
Oh gosh. Okay. Still one more sentence.
Oof.
Turmeric imbues the soul with courage and lends the strength to turn what seems like unconquerable obstacles into navigatable paths.
I love that.
Can I get
Beautiful.
an amen?
Amen.
Oh, your oil oracles really know what's up.
Yes.
That shit got me sweating. It was good. 75 cents.
Can we do a heart affirmation?
Yes, please. Thank you.
I can love myself as I am and others as they are. I am worthy of my own love. I can love myself as I am and others as they are. I am worthy of my own love.
I love that.
I do too. I do too. Thank you.
I think I'm going to have to clock out, ladies.
I think it's
For me
about
too. I thought of my favorite song about the heart.
Yes, let's hear it.
At least the first one that I can think of right now, which finally came to me right in time. It's by delightful folk band called Wyrd, and it's called Free Like a Broken Heart.
Wow.
Will you sing a little bit?
Free like a broken heart. Free like a broken heart, like a broken heart. My heart's tumbling all around me. You don't have to fight. You don't have to hold tight. I'll sing it all for you another time.
I love it so much. That was so beautiful. I love that we ended on a song.
Oh, me too. What better way to do the heart chakra?
Thank you.
Thank you,
I
ladies.
love you, girls. Thank
I
you,
love
thank
you
you, thank
too.
you.
I love everybody out there watching. Thank you for tuning in and joining us. Thank you, Nikki. It was
Shout out to each and every one of you tuning in. Thank you, thank you.
lovely, lovely.
Be well.
Bye, Scott.
Bye.
Bye, Scout.
Bye. Love you. It's Scout.
I need Comer.